Your pipeline is frozen. Sales is blaming marketing, saying that the leads are bad. Marketing is blaming sales, saying they don't know how to close, and you're burning cash by the hour. Sound familiar? If so, stick around to the end because I want to give you a playbook that you can implement before your next board meeting. If you don't know who I am, my name is Todd Friedman. I'm a former exotic sports car mechanic turned revenue architect for B2B tech firms doing anywhere from $1.5 to $5 million a year in annual revenue. Today I want to share with you two concepts that we use not only for our own in-house lead acquisition, but also we use these exact same strategies with our clients every day to help them build pipeline and close deals. When I was elbow deep fixing engines of exotic sports cars, I knew only a few things. First, we needed spark. Second, we needed fuel. And third, engine timing had to be correct. If we didn't have those three things, nothing ran properly. It's the same thing with sales and marketing for your B2B tech firm. When companies come to us for help, one of their biggest challenges is getting the right kind of lead for their salespeople to work. One of the biggest challenges in B2B tech today is marrying sales and marketing together into one cohesive unit. So how do we do that? Well, we have two strategies that we use with our clients as well as in-house. The first is something we call self-interest-based marketing. And the second is something that we like to call the 4 R's. And I'm going to share with you what both of those are right now. Before we dive into this, I want to share with you a very important quote that I think sums up the biggest challenge today for companies across the board, whether they're B2B or B2C. Back in the 1960s, a man by the name of Eugene Schwartz wrote what many people believe to be the Bible of marketing and advertising. That was called Breakthrough Advertising. On one of the first pages of the book is probably the most important thing to understand about advertising in this day and age. Quote went something like this: "You cannot create desire for a product. You can only take the hopes, dreams, fears, and desires that already exist in the hearts of millions of people and focus those already existing desires onto the product. In fact, it's nearly impossible for anyone to spend enough money to create the desire. We can only exploit it." Understanding that one little piece of information can change everything that you're doing from wrong to right. So let's talk about what is self-interest-based marketing. It's a concept that is widely used, but there's an art to doing it the right way. And what it comes down to is presenting your prospect with something that provides value first before trying to offer any kind of product or service that might find a solution for their needs. We can simplify what self-interest-based marketing is into one simple word: reciprocity. In his now famous book, Influence, author and psychologist Robert Cialdini talked about one of the 6 tenets of ethical persuasion is reciprocity. Robert Cialdini's research proves that when you give unexpected value first, people feel an ethical pull to give back. That is persuasion. It's not manipulation. So what we do in this case is we offer something to the prospect that is not only valuable to them, but in one way feeds their ego. This works exceptionally well with CEOs and board executives of large to medium-sized companies and even small companies. So what's a good example of using self-interest-based marketing? One of the ways that we help our clients with self-interest-based marketing is we create reports. And what we do is we find ways to attract their ideal prospect to come onto a call to discuss a topic that is relevant to them and provides them with the ability to show thought leadership and knowledge in their area of expertise. Let me give you an example. If we are working with, say, a Fintech company and they are looking to find clients that are medium-sized banks, what we might do in this case is we may send out messages to CEOs of medium-sized banks saying something to the tune of, we would love to interview you for a piece that we are doing on the state of medium-sized banks throughout the United States of America and the 3 challenges that they are facing. So what exactly does this do? Well, it does a couple of things. First and foremost, it shows that we understand who the people are. It shows that we understand that they have knowledge, and it allows us to start a conversation with them in a way that lowers their defenses and lowers the barrier of entry. So we provide them with a platform where they can talk about themselves, where they can talk about their industry experience and what they believe is true or untrue, and then based on subtle questioning, we can find out relatively quickly whether or not this person and their company would be a good fit for the product or service. And if so, we would, at the very end of the conversation, invite them onto a follow-up call to have a mutual discussion about something that would be important to both sides. That's just one of the ways that we not only internally do self-interest-based marketing, but one way that we help our clients run self-interest-based marketing campaigns to attract their highest quality client. Now, how do we find and define what a high quality client is? Most CEOs will come to us and say, well, I already have a very clearly defined ICP or ideal client profile. But we like to take it a step or two further using a concept that we've created called the 4 R's. The 4 R's works simply like this. It's all about putting the right offer in front of the right person at the right time and on the right platform, and doing it in a way that appeals to their self-interest. So let me break it down and give you examples here. So when we're running self-interest-based marketing campaigns, we want to find the right offer. What can we say to this group of potentially ideal prospects that is going to put them in a position to say, yes, I would like to be a part of this? Next, we need to find the right person. Now, in some cases, some companies just want to spray and pray and have the most conversations possible. Others are more in tune to drill down very, very specific. So, for example, we have one client who's in the MedTech space, and they want to talk to clinic owners. Doesn't matter what kind of medical clinic, as long as it's a medical clinic, they want to have conversations with them. Now, let's take that and look at a different client that is in the software and IT consulting sector, and they're looking specifically for small to medium-sized software companies whose CEOs don't have previous software experience and may not have a CTO or a CIO on the board. That kind of specificity can make or break a campaign. But on the flip side of that, there's also nothing wrong with going wide, especially if you're looking for new angles, new insights, and new potential types of clients that you might not have worked with before. Next, let's talk about the right timing. When we say timing, this could mean a number of different things. It could simply just mean the right time of the month, the right time of year, the right time of day. Or it could trickle down to a very specific trigger. Let me give you an example. If a tech company recently went through a round of funding, that's a potential trigger. If they recently had layoffs, that's another trigger. If they are looking to hire specific people in the organization, that's another trigger. So it's important to understand what is your ideal client going through right now to be able to make sure that you're reaching out to them at the right time. And finally, the 4th R, the right platform. Where do your prospects spend the most time? Are they typically in front of their computer looking at their email? Are they usually on LinkedIn? Maybe they're on Facebook. Maybe they're on Instagram. Knowing where your ideal prospects spend their time and what platforms are best to start conversations and communications is incredibly important to making sure that you implement the 4 R's in the correct way. And of course, finally, making sure that we are doing this all in a way that appeals to their self-interest. Let me give you a perfect example of appealing to self-interest using the 4Rs. If you're looking for companies who just completed a round of funding, the most perfect thing that you can do to start off an email or a LinkedIn message is to congratulate them on their recent funding. So now, how do you align your sales and your marketing teams on these two specific concepts? Well, first and foremost, kill the SQL versus the MQL. So what should you do? It's as simple as having a 10-minute huddle on Slack or your preferred platform, whether it's Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and talk about three very specific things. First, what deals are in the pipeline and where are they at the moment? Second, what objections are the sales team coming up against that maybe they weren't necessarily ready to handle or know how to overcome? Third, content feedback. When you send a message out, regardless of the platform, what kind of feedback are you getting? Is it positive? Is it negative? Do they say they hate it? Do they say they love it? All of this is incredibly important intel that your sales and your marketing teams can use to get a better understanding of where every deal is and how you can more effectively make the right iterations and ultimately get the deal over the line. So what can you and your team do over the course of the next 30 days to implement self-interest based marketing using our 4 rights structure to improve everything? Let's break it down into weekly tasks. Week 1, clearly define your 4 Rs. What is the right offer to put in front of the right person? When is the right time? And what is the right platform or platforms to go after? Week 2, start shipping out those ICP ego boosters. Start shipping out those self-interest based marketing messages to your ICP and wait for engagement. During week number 3, as you start to get answers and you start to book calls, make sure that both the sales and the marketing people are huddling every day for at least 10 minutes to, again, go over deal flow, objections, and content feedback. And week 4, after you have intel, it's time to scale up, scale down, or iterate. So if it's time to take a torch to your frozen pipeline and heat things back up and get your sales rocking and rolling, use self-interest based marketing based on the 4 Rs. And if you'd like a little bit of extra help with this, go ahead and click the link in the description to book a time on our calendar for a further discussion.